Right, what do you want to talk about?
Trees, the dragon, the porous part of this, your dream.
Well, this is the, well, in my dream and vision I had, when it came to the dragon lives in the water that's contained on the other side of this wall here. It's a real dragon in the real time now. And that's why so many elite families live in Hillswood, because they're all trying to get control over it. And they're using MK Ultra to try and mind control this beast. But she can't be penetrated in her mind or spirit or body. She's impenetrable. And in my vision I had, I'm sitting in a room watching TV, and I had a remote control and my mobile phone. And as I watched TV, they showed breaking news that the wall had come down. This wall here that we're standing by, and it will one day. As you can see, the condition of it, it's not looking
Too good.
very good. Looking a bit shabby.
A little bit shabby. Yeah. So we're at the Maroondah Dam now, folks. Interesting.
So behind the wall is a location. Well, it's hard to pinpoint the actual location itself. Is where the only place where our father, Biami, the God, and the same God that all the world speaks about as God. Biami just happened to be his first given name.
Biami.
That was spoken by humans in the first days of that creation. So, and mother too. This is a location where the mother stood as one woman. So here is the only location on the planet where God himself stood as a man and our mother stood as a woman. And together they had 13 children, and then 13 children. The firstborn was a portal for all consciousness to come through, to join the celestial consciousness to the earth realms and time together. So that we can be intertwined into this reality, which is very fine. Because out there is pure darkness, and on the other side is pure light. And we can't exist in neither of them. We can only exist in the fine line. The rainbow creation can only live between the shadows of the light and the dark. So, and it's very finite, our reality. That's why most of the universe is made up of dark matter. Because that's the dark void.
That's the dark, yeah.
Yeah, that encompasses everything. The creation is only a little small iota in the sea of darkness. And that's why we tell people, don't bother going out there looking for anything, because there's nothing out there for you.
It's all here, isn't it?
It's all here, yeah. And the universe is within, it's not without. So,
because we're fractals of the universe.
We're three-part harmonies that are fractal of the greater Trinity. That's what the Trinity is. It's all in threes. That's why you've got to ask someone a question 3 times in a row, they've got to give you the answer. You've got to get the question out before they interject and ask a question of you. What is trickery?
Yes.
So the three-part, the true Trinity that the churches lie about is actually the mother, the father, and the child. Not the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit.
The mother, the father, and the child.
Yes, and it starts with the mother. The mother, the father, and the Holy Child. But the children are holy. We are holistically holy. We're born perfect. And people say nobody's perfect.
But we were born perfect.
I've had people call me nobody before. Say he's a nobody. And nobody's perfect.
Yeah.
Take the piss out of all that.
Yeah.
People shouldn't take themselves too serious. I've met a lot of so-called knowledge speakers who get all like, oh, you've got to take this knowledge serious. I said, no, you don't. I said, how come? Because I know better. I know more backwards in time. The Spirit took me back and showed me everything. And life truly is a blessing and a gift for us all. So the reality is that all humans are three-part harmonies. The mother, the father, and the child.
Mother, the father, and the child.
Yeah, and creation is the mother, the father, and the child. It's not just the father or the mother. So the churches are altruistic, or not altruistic, they claim everything about the father. And a lot of them don't even know what the father is. While the other side, the paganism side and the tribe side, all acknowledge the mother's side.
Yeah.
So
the sacred feminine.
So they both have their place, but they need to come together because there's a mother and father in the creation. Okay? And just beyond this wall is the only place where the mother and father had their marriage and union. And it lasted it's hard to put a time limit on time, because it's the first 13 children had crystal skeletons. They got the crystal skeleton from their mother. The mother was created out of rainbow obsidian. and not manifesting. Remember, manifesting is stealing.
Is it?
It's another new, well, it's an ancient philosophy about the return to the world. So when people say, oh, I want to manifest,
Yeah, that's a new age term.
it is, and what it does, it creates vanity and feeds the ego. And ego is real, but it's not to be used to have others serve you, or have the universe serve you. And people say, like, what are we then, slaves to the universe? I said, if we're going to be slaves to anything, why not to the greater creation?
Yeah. Yes.
And that makes us in service to each other.
Yeah.
Which is what we're meant, is how we're meant to be living.
Yeah.
Is in service to each other, not in service to a few.
To self.
Yeah, or service to the self, or service to an elite few.
Oh yes, the cabal.
Yeah, whatever name, like kick him in the cabals. It's another great one. And look, there's even life finds a way. Look at that little tree up there, it's spruiking out of that wall.
Yes. Yes.
And
Clinging on. Now, you can't walk up there, can you, Uluki? No.
We used to be able to.
Right.
They've locked up the gate there. We can walk across the wall. We can walk up there and walk up to the wall. Or we can drive up there. We can go back out and come back in, and there's a little driveway. You're not meant to go.
What would you like to do?
Oh, we can stroll up the pathway if you want.
Yeah, it would be good.
So the 13 crystal beings were all born here. When people talk about the 13 crystal skulls,
Yes.
this is where they were born. They're not celestials, they're not aliens. And all of the skulls that everyone's ever seen as crystals have all been hand-carved by man.
Yes.
So what it is somewhere in their spirit, they remember the crystal creation. So they'll go and carve crystal skulls in honour of that. Then somewhere along the line, someone said this was one of the real ones when you actually see this carved by man. It wasn't born because the crystal beings are the same skeleton we have.
Because we're going back to crystalline.
Yes. Yeah, we're
From
born
carbon-based to crystalline.
Yeah. So we were born as crystalline beings. Now we're going to return to that because we're recreating creation on the earth.
Exciting times to be alive.
This is the like the future world will look back at this and as the most important time in humanity that ever existed in. And even more important than the creation, because it's a new creation. Yeah. So this creation that we're creating is no less important than the creation itself.
Yes.
Because we are all part of that creation. And no one can hide from the laws of creation. So the 13 crystal beings born beyond this wall to the mother. And the mother's body was made of rainbow obsidian. So the father and the 7 spirits of creation created the mother out of rainbow obsidian, and when they created her, not manifested.
Yes.
They're manifesting stealing people.
Again, it's all the war of words.
It is. In the war of the words. You have to do that film now.
The war of the words.
We'll get Tom Cruise in.
Got to watch this English language. It's a spell casting language.
So the father lived here beyond this wall. The mother lived here as one woman. Because when they created her out of rainbow obsidian, what the spirits of creation done with the creator father is they lifted her rainbow obsidian body off the earth and levitated her. And when they put her back down onto the earth, all the living creatures of the world, every tree, because trees are creatures, every river and stream, because they are creatures too. They are humanity, and humanity in its origins means all things that have life. So everything that has life force is a part of humanity. It's not just a two-legged
creature.
Yeah.
It's not separate from us.
No. And this is how we're related to the world of nature, because when our mother, when they put her back onto the earth, and all living things, they didn't have to give much of themselves, just a little piece of their own spirit to go through the airwaves and the ley lines of the earth to illuminate the mother and give her consciousness. So her consciousness was made up of every living creature of the earth at that time. And then she glowed with the life of the planet into one rainbow obsidian body. And then the father laid down with the beautiful rainbow obsidian woman, co-created in the same fashion, men and women. It's in the program. It's the same program that men and women follow today in the laws of creation. And they had given birth to 13 children. And they got their crystal skeletons from their mother, the rainbow obsidian woman. who had inside of her all the creatures of the world. A little bit was inside of her. So when the first son of the world was born, he was related to every living creature of the earth as well as being the son of the Creator. So it was a joinder on this. That's when the heaven and the earth become one in our creation. Because our Father is from the stars. And He's a great creator in vibration. It's very hard to explain what reality, the creation of reality and the reality of creation is. Because it's a synergy that bites in and eats itself. And
Do you think we came from Alcyone, the central sun in the Pleiades?
that's probably where our Father comes from.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because this world was created by the angelics. So when people talk about the angelic host, all the angels are real. And all of that war in heaven is real.
Yep.
And much of what the Bible talks about is real, but they've tainted it with words that make it fictional, so it no longer becomes real.
Yeah.
Because where is this continent in order text?
Yeah.
It's non-existent. They writ the real creation out of existence. Because all men and women of the planet come from, so when them first 13 children were born, the first was a portal that joined the celestial to the earth. And then the other 12 were born with different crystal skeletons to hold different frequencies and vibrations. That joined the orders of creation in the animal world to the orders of creation of the stars. Again, to become a joinder in this reality.
Did these 13 children go all over the world?
All over the world. I'm sure they... Because I've got a big mouth and I speak what I know, even the spirits of creation have hidden stuff from me because I wanted to know where they went after they were born. And that's a mystery that we will learn in the new world. So we've got to be patient. So when we learn where they went to, well, what happened was they went in 6 couples.
6 couples?
Yeah, because they weren't deemed as siblings, even though they had the same mother and father. They had their own independent genetic and vibrational codes.
Right.
Or I call energenetics.
Energenetics.
Yeah, it's a new word for joining the energy of DNA, DNA to energy, matter to energy. So there were 6 energetic marriages. That's why humans when we first lived on the earth, we had 6 double helixes.
Yes.
12 strain DNA.
Yes, yes.
12 strain meaning the 12 crystal beings that carried the frequencies of humanity.
And we had supernatural powers.
And shapeshift. You can move and change, fly, float.
Telepathy.
Yep. And teleport.
Yes.
As well.
Time travel.
Time travel, all of it. And it was the Anunnaki who started to rescind that in our DNA. When they come here doing the DNA splicing to hinder man to 2-strain DNA.
Because the thing is, Uluki, I can remember when I was a child, probably about 4 or 5, I knew I could fly.
Yeah.
To me, it was natural. But this
in some of our dreams
body,
we still can.
Yeah.
Because we still have that memory. That the dreaming world, because my grandfather's people in this part of the world, our dreaming story is the dreaming. Yeah, we're dreaming dreams. And the dreaming is the continuation of creation. It's not a dream. It's not set in time. It's not when you say to say time would say was. It's no longer applicable. That's why we say the dreaming, because this creation is a continuum.
Continuum.
That keeps flowing on and flowing within itself and back out of itself, back into itself and out of itself. That's what creation is, the constant rolling and flowing of energies and frequencies that dive back into itself. And it's music. And music is a dragon biting its own tail.
Yes.
Made a circle be unbroken.
That's called the Oribus.
Yeah, different names from all over the world for it. So, and there's that old hymn. Made a circle be unbroken, by and by, Lord, by and by. That's the circle of creation. It's music.
Wow. And
that's because music is creation, and that's why this 12 is important, because if you study music, there's 12 tones. There's 7 major tones, which is the 7 colours of the rainbow.
Yes.
And then there's 5 semitones. Well, there's 7 major tones, 5 semitones, which equal 12.
Yep.
So those 5 would come from the marriage between 5 of the major. There's 2 major tones that cannot get married or do not have a semitone.
Right.
I think E is one of them, doesn't have a semitone.
E.
It has a flat but no sharp.
Yes, correct.
And B.
I should know, I used to play the piano.
And B doesn't have a sharp.
Yeah, B does not have a sharp.
Yeah.
No, yeah.
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 So B and E are the two that don't have sharps. And C doesn't have a flat.
Yes, doesn't have a flat, only C
and
sharp.
neither does F have a flat.
No, yeah, yep.
So there's two.
Interesting.
There's two relationships that were never allowed to get married in the first days of creation because they don't make natural colours of the spectrum.
So there's no harmony.
Yeah, there's no harmony in creation.
Yes.
So
yep.
To say on the spectrum, so the new world and the portal for the new world, it wasn't one big portal, it was 12 portals for humanity to go through under the 12 houses of creation. And then portals are governed by crystals. And this is why the churches don't want to talk about crystals. They go, oh, crystals of voodooism and all of that. They don't want us to understand that crystals are attached to our human creation.
And that's
God's
why
creation.
we're so drawn to them, isn't it? Like, I go crazy when I see crystals.
Yeah. Well, I've done a group recently with some people who travelled the world and studied all kinds of things, and now they're all here in Melbourne. And they don't know why, and they're going, oh, now we know why. Yeah. And some of them are clairvoyants. And when I told them, I said, it's okay to be clairvoyants under the Creator. Because Creator gifted you to
With
humanity.
Gift. Yes.
With a gift to see. I said, don't let the churches or the preachers tell you otherwise, because they're hiding you from the world. So be your true self. Be clairvoyant. Be the oracles that humans need you to be. And they'll bless, because they're religious people, but they're clairvoyant, and that's a bit of a conundrum, because religious folk aren't meant to trust clairvoyance. Like, oh, it's all devil worship.
Yep.
It's not. You know?
I just recently had that myself with a lady when she found out that I do the tarot.
Oh, yeah.
And all of a sudden...
you're the devil's witch.
Yep. And she was a Christian.
Yeah. Bless her.
And...
so she's the devil's bitch.
But I did treat her with compassion.
Yeah, it's sad that they've... and this is what I've told some Christians, especially certain churches. I said, explain to me your belief. They go straight to the book. I said, no. I said, forget the book. I want to know what you think inside. Show me what your heart says about God and creation and everything else. And then they keep reverting to the book. They can't actually get out of the book, which has indoctrinated them, which is the Jesuits have changed the wording so much in there.
The Jesuits.
So the whole Adam and Eve story only comes from two people, which is one marriage out of 6 marriages.
Yes. Ah.
Yeah.
So
somewhere out there.
So we get back to Horus and Isis.
Yes.
The marriage between...
And the South Americans have their own stories of the couple.
Yes, they do.
And the Germanic tribes.
In every culture.
You know, the white tribes of the earth. And this is what a lot of people talk about. Oh, I wish I was tribal. These are all tribal. These all come from a tribe somewhere. This is the tribal earth. So every Chinese person, every Icelander, everyone is tribal.
Yep.
That is somewhere along the line, and even in this country, many of the tribes lost their creation. So they have and I know they're going to look at me like, oh, who do you think he is? I'm the king, first and under the laws of creation. When the spirits of creation say you're the king, act like it. I wish it was someone else, but it's me.
Yep.
And so be it. So
I believe what you say.
I have to speak it out loud. And whatever I say, I have to say, regardless of its effect on me.
Yep. You've got to speak your truth, Uluki.
Yeah. And we can only create a better world by truly being ourselves. All I am, and churches can come up and what I want. Let them. Because I do wish for a challenge. Because as beautiful as people are, they're not looking for a challenge. And I'm not looking to challenge the people. I'm looking to challenge those who think they have a right to challenge the creation. Because then, let them drag me before the court. And who or what is the court? We are the court.
Yes.
We are the ecclesia. The ecclesia is the court. And the ecclesia is the laws of creation contained within your heart.
Yes.
So beyond anything outside of that becomes fiction. So the mind operates in fiction, but the heart operates in non-fiction.
Yep.
Because I've seen people put images and words into the minds of others. And if humans can do that, imagine what the other entities are doing all around us.
Oh,
through control mechanisms.
Yes.
So under the creation, the DNA in our heart is from the original creation. Oh, hang on a minute.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
did,
The hidden hand. Look.
and the feet.
The hidden hand. He's taking a swipe at the Freemasons.
Bless them souls.
Bless their souls. Let's have a little chat about Melbourne, Uluki. Remember we spoke a couple of weeks ago, we were talking about the lockdowns here and the darkness that's been here in Melbourne. And I remember you saying that this is probably the darkest place here. This is the darkest place on earth.
Yeah, they're, because they understand the creation. Because they understand the creation, they know the control mechanisms of the consciousness of humanity. So through here, through these locations, they implant their control mechanisms on a social basis out of here, and it spread to the rest of the world consciously. And when I say that my grandfather's tribe out of this region, our dreaming is the dreaming. We don't have kangaroo dreaming, well, our kangaroos do. In the original creation story, it was a red kangaroo female. It was the first animal on the planet that understood its own reality. So as she was having a drink of water in a pool, she saw her own reflection. She saw her face, knowing it's a physical face. But when she saw her eyes, she understood that there was separation between the spirit and the vessel.
Oh, that's beautiful.
And the moment that occurred, when the animal world clicked onto its own reality and become conscious, self-conscious, that's when the spirits of creation knew that the world could now be inhabited by the human spectrum. So, because she had become conscious and self-aware, and the moment that occurred, we could inhabit the garden, because the garden was aware of its own presence.
Yeah.
And this is all consciousness. The trees, the animals, the plants, the air is consciousness. Everything is all consciousness all around us.
Including this wall.
Yes. I'm going to get a drink. Get out here. So dragons.
Dragons and
dungeons not far from here.
It's just getting a drink of...
What people call fairy tales and all of that is based in reality.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I believe that.
Unicorns, wait till we see them.
It's, you know, when Star Wars came out back in the 70s, that's when my generation started to remember, I think, when the first Star Wars came out.
Apparently Gene Roddenberry was sent here to the world to start the activation on the celestial side, to start warming up and preparing the world for celestial travel. Because that's another thing the spiritual creation told me to do, prepare the world for galactic travel, like the public. There's already private people that are doing it.
Yes.
The private military is doing galactic travel.
Yep.
But
they've got the technology.
Open, but it's going to be open for the public soon. So we're going to,
soon.
Yeah. They get ready. We've got flags ready to go on the spaceships. We've got everything all ready to go. And protection under the orders of creation. Because there is a galactic
Federation?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, secret space program, super soldiers.
Yep.
The works.
All of it.
Yep.
And it's all here, operating behind the scenes.
Yes. And the military is just a cover for it. They're just there to put on another face to it, aren't they?
Yes. Well, we're doing things.
Yeah. But
But they're secrets for now.
Yeah, exactly, Uluki.
Because the world still needs a good mystery too. And I love a good mystery. And even what creation has taught me, and that's why they've kept things hidden from me. Because again, when you're in flux with so much information, it's hard to see anything new.
Oh yeah, I agree.
So you get very bored with reality and reality. But when I see a human spark in the eye, that's the mystery.
Yes.
And that's the when you see the lights turn on. That's it. Like them old couple in that bakery before. Yeah. When you see the human soul spark, that's the beauty of creation. That's when you know things are working.
That lady in the bakery, she knew straight away that you were unique.
Yeah,
because she told me. And she didn't even know you.
Oh, Wilma.
From a bar of soap.
Yeah.
But her spirit felt it.
Yeah, because sometimes older people miss something, but a lot of them have just experience on their side. And they've met so many humans in their life that when someone a bit different comes along, they can just go, here. Check this guy out.
Yep.
Anyway, and it's a beautiful thing.
And I've seen
It's
children
not
and
about me,
babies.
It's about you guys, right?
Yeah. Okay, we're going to start going up the top.
Yeah, we'll have a walk around and.
All right, folks, I'll come back on later.